Hello, we are out in the woods for a little camping trip, me and my mate John, and I'm going to go through all my kit that I brought with me. Okay. There's my rations. I brought I thought I'd try these. We've been here a couple of days, but this is my last one. They're not too bad for dehydrated meals. They're better than I remember them. Not too bad at all. I've got some porridge in a bag. Got some tuna with some tortilla wraps. Got a little brew kit. Some tea bags, condiments in there as well. Salt and pepper sauce, hot chocolate, cappuccinos, bottle of honey there, and here's my snack bag, a few Snickers, peanut bars, the Nature Valley bars as well, and these, I get these from the petrol stations, from the Essos. Chorizo sausage, I like the medium one, you can see that, the mild one, they're pretty good. They're a couple of quid, but they are very tasty, so I bring them. I've got my homemade insulating meal cosy that I made out of a car windscreen. My pour and store bags that I put my porridge in, etc. to cook in. Emergency bottle of water I've brought with me. My cook kit, which is very basic, just a stove, bit of tin foil for emergency windscreen, a clean up kit, a little bit of sponge, cloth, bit of washing up liquid, just a bean tin and a spoon. That's all I brought. My metal mug that I always bring, and a homemade pot cozy, cup cozy, out of the windscreen, bit of duct tape. The lids that I use to cover my cook pot are the tops out of the Christmas like Twiglets and cheesy balls and things. That's what I use for the thing. They're very light, and I've got a little pair of pliers, multi-tool, that I use. This one has a torch. It did have other tools on the other side, but I don't use them, so I cut them out. So it's very, very light. Pliers are always handy, and a little backup torch, so they're handy to have. My Swiss Army knife I always bring, coming very useful for fixing my elastic on my mosquito net that's snapped off. Very handy piece of kit. That's that. And the plastic tub here with the sticker on, that's my roll-ups, and my lighter. My repair kit. You can see duct tape, super glue, brass wire, storm saw, sure for any holes, a few little zip ties, some patches as well, waterproof patches for a quick emergency repair, needle and thread in there, and needles in there, little plastic tube, bit of electrical tape as well. My green rag that I used to dry off with, and I have a wash, pot grabber, etc. My sharpener for my knife, extra cord, my wash kit, very basic, just a flannel, some earplugs, the wildlife gets a bit noisy, toothbrush, toothpaste, nail clippers, file, soap, emergency contact lenses in case I break my glasses, and a mirror so I can see what I'm doing to put them in. Small bottle of mouthwash, and now we go on to my electrical bits. I've just got my phone in a plastic bag, and in this plastic bag I have 2 spare camera batteries, headphones so I can listen to music and not annoy everybody else, and they're 2 batteries for my camera, 2 spare for my phone, my fire kit. I have a wire saw, little stubber pencil, rubber in the tubing, bit of Maya stick there, a wet fire, waterproof paper, cotton wool soaked Vaseline, and a small button compass. And also in the corner here, just here, is a very, very tiny little emergency fishing kit, because when we walk around we can actually get access to the river. Got a little kit just to try my luck. That's that. And this one here is my personal medications, and a very small tube of emergency tooth fill and some toothache gel, just in case. That's a backup. If anyone loses a filling, gets a bit of a toothache, comes in handy. My first aid kit. It's quite large, but then there's quite a few people wander about out here, so if anyone gets in a bit of bother, I've got a bit of help for them. It's got painkillers, ibuprofen, paracetamol, aspirin, antihistamines, anti-diarrheal, diarrhea's in there. I've got another small roll of gaffer tape in there, 3 pairs of gloves, a very large field dressing, wound dressing just in case, cotton wool tips and different things. I've got lip balm there in a small pot. I've got anti-rub there. I've got blisters, plasters, safety pins, tape. I've got bite cream. I've got like an ibuprofen gel for like if your back hurts or your knee, something, because we do a lot of walking. A bit of potassium permanganate in there for a steriliser, etc. A few plasters, blister plasters, a couple of large pads, dressing pads there. I'll do a separate video on that one. This is just what I had left when I made my pot cozies. That has been very, very nice the weekend, or say not the weekend, on this camping trip. I've used it to stand on, I've used it to sit on. It's been a good thing. Right, just one little pair of liner gloves. Just a pair of thin thermal ones, just to take the chill off. Small bottle of sanitizing hand sanitizer, small bottle of hand wash, toilet paper. I bought a couple of emergency space blankets with me because I didn't know how cold it was going to get, so I could wrap myself up, because I'm using a hammock, but I've not had to use them. And yes, it is. It's a little hot water bottle. Doesn't weigh much. You fill it up about half hour before you jump in your sleeping bag, chuck it in the bottom, wrapped up in a bit of clothing, and you are super toasty all night. Good little bit of kit. bit of plastic sheeting that I normally use to stand on. Didn't use it unfortunately because I was using the metal reflector, heater reflector. I've got an extra hat, balaclava in there, and a pair of long johns. And as well as that, I've got to turn it round. I've got my, you can see that, just a bum bag to keep some of the bits on me as I walk. The holder for the camera I'm using, and the last thing that I got on me is a whistle attached to my knife, a bit of fire steel there, and then I've just got, if you can see that, my stainless steel frost morer with a little lanyard to put around my fingers when I'm using it, because it's quite cold out here. If it does slip out my hand, it stops me pinging my knife across anywhere. And that's it. And that stays on me as soon as I get into the woods until I go home. So that's all the kit that I've brought. I'm planning on cutting it down a little bit more for next time, but all of this, as well as my hammock and my tarp, all go in or on. And I've also got another thing, I've also got a pair of work gloves. As you see, they're well used. Clipped on the outside with a carabiner. Bit of elastic put through the back as well. That's just to carry my fleece in a waterproof bag, but also if I break the poles, you can see that the poles, I can repair them, or the elastic, which actually broke on this trip. But luckily enough, I did a repair by using my Swiss Army knife. I pushed the Phillips screwdriver through to make the stitching wider, melted the end, pushed it through, and I managed to fix my net elastic, which was quite good. Another little thing that I do is I always have a couple of sticks right by where my head end is, and I put my boots on there at night up off the ground. Even though it's winter, I still have a net, because you get all the bugs come in, climb in underneath your tarp and start dropping on your head at night, which isn't fun. I've got my thick thermal long johns there, and a very thin fleece, which is lovely as a pillow. And I have my British Army, it's very difficult to see and very low light, British Army Arctic sleeping bag. I could have brought that on my own, but I like to have a little fleece liner as well inside. So there's the fleece liner, you can't really see it. The fleece liner as well inside that, and underneath here I have a full car window screen protector, sun protector, and a very thin close cell foam mat, and those two kept me lovely and warm underneath it. That warm, in fact, that my sleeping bag, I have to dry it out every day, every morning, because it makes it damp underneath. But I'm not been cold at all. in a hammock at all. I've got my little Bear Grylls light I got for Father's Day on a carabiner there. That just stays there as an emergency light. I've got my headlamp. That I keep in there so I don't go losing it. And then when I know exactly where it is to get it when I need it at night time. I could keep it in my pocket and that, but I'll keep it there. But that is it. That is all the kit there. Another thing that I've had these for years is a pair of gaiters. They're cotton gaiters made by Glebet. And they go over my boots, and they actually do stop a lot of crap going up my legs as I'm walking, because it's very muddy at this time of the year. There's my suspension system, just a carabiner. I changed the rope out for a nice strong rope. Fisherman's knot, that's the fisherman's knot there. Always put a drip line on, and I just loop it around the tree, bow it, tie another knot over the top so it's nice and secure. But that is my setup. You can see. Step back. Ow. Tree there. It's very nice. Right, well, I'll show you around the camp now. There's the fire. Oh, there's also another thing. I bring these cloths. I get them like a J cloth, but they're a bit stronger, made by a company called Wipeout. I use them at work, and they're super absorbent. I'd bring a couple, one to just keep my cup clean. See there, keep my cup clean, and just a little snip off the end of a kitchen sponge, and a small bottle of washing up liquid, and that will last me quite a while. A couple of drops in there, and it keeps my cup nice and clean. And we look around, it's a lovely area, it's nice and flat. Go around, and this is my mate John's. He's brought a pop-up tent. All these gears inside, but he's brought a little pop-up tent that he's got, and it's not really sealed. So what he's done is he always brings a British Army poncho. He's put it over the top. But yeah, it's kept him nice and dry. He's got himself a 58 pattern down sleeping bag that he's got, and he's impressed with that. It's kept him warm. My bag, I've been so warm I've had to take my hat off at night. I normally sleep with a hat on. I had to take my hat off. I was that hot in it. So it's a good bit of kit. Very heavy, but good piece of kit nonetheless. This is what I like about this little campsite that we found the last time we come, is that there is so much dead standing wood that making a campfire is a breeze. So we take a walk along. So we're camping. Go up that way, and there's a track that leads right along the top, and then you go over that way, and then go that way, and then down into where we park the car. My mate's gone to his car to resupply on water at the minute, so I'm here all alone. yes, it's a very nice little area. Plenty of activity. The old squirrels running around in the morning. We camped over the other side yesterday and they were having a pheasant shoot, and my god, it was seriously noisy. Guns going off, pheasants squawking their heads off, and they were still squawking at 3 o'clock in the morning. So we decided to move to get a bit of peace, and actually we've not heard much at all. It's been very peaceful. But this is nice and flat all the way along here. It's a very nice area. There you go. It's been nice. But yeah, it's been a good few days. We've been out here since Wednesday, and I've been trying out different bits of kit. Like, this was a fleece balaclava, and I cut the face bit out and the back out. I got my mum to stitch the flap over, and this hat is warmer than the hat that I used to bring. Any people that come out quite often, these are a good bit of kit. It's pick them up quite cheap in the army shops or online. It's just a neck over, or a head over they call them in the military. It only cost me a couple of pounds. Wraps up, keeps your face nice and warm. Good investment. Don't pay 20 quid for a buff. A couple of quid on eBay or in a surplus shop. Worth their weight. Worth their weight. But yeah, it's been a good trip. Had a nice campfire, good laugh. Nice little campfire. It's been very good. You got any comments on what kit you bring, etc.? Please feel free to comment. Let's have a look at the good old campfire. I'll stoke that up tonight, burn it all off, push it all in, make sure it's all burnt off, and clear it away tomorrow. But yeah, it's a nice little area. Little seat over there. What I've done here is, where I'm sitting on the pad, I've put this log, and what I do is I sit down and I put my boots on here when the fire is really hot, and it keeps your feet lovely and warm in this weather. And also I've been drying my socks on the stick there as well, because you do tend to sweat quite a bit in your boots when you do a lot of walking, and a lot of people won't, or I should say don't realise that your thermal socks do accumulate quite a bit of sweat, and then you get cold feet because they're cooling down when you stop. So I've been drying my socks on the stick and then been shoving them down the side pockets of my sleeping bag at night, and then I change my socks. I've got my bed socks on at the minute, which are a fleece pair, which have been good. They're called heat holders. They've been a good piece of kit for not a lot of money. They're very furry inside, you can see that, and they keep the heat in. But yeah, I mean, any new people that are starting to do camping, just get out there, get out and enjoy it. Take what you think you need. Have a look on YouTube, there's hundreds of videos on what kit people bring. Get out and have a go. Can't beat sitting out drinking a cup of coffee by a campfire, and at night time just watching the old fire, the old bush TV. Best thing ever. Get out and enjoy it. just as we come up and show him, my mate, where the path is, because it looks so similar. The whole place just looks the same wherever you go. So in my first video, which I haven't had a chance to stick up yet, but I will do, is extreme close up. Is ooh, sorry. And he got to walk this way down this path here, which takes him down to where he's got to go down the hill to the car. But he got a bit turned around because we're camping down this way. Because there's two paths. There's a path that goes down here, but the path that we need, even though it doesn't really look very distinguishable from anything else out here, is this is the path here. And out here, the marker's down the hill this way, but you can get so turned around in here, you've got to know where you're going. So a little compass, which I always carry, just take it out now and again, get your bearing where you're going, so if you do get lost you can backtrack the direction. We're looking for a marker for the trail that goes down. Because to the right, up there, past that tree line, there's a field that we went through yesterday to the other camp. Didn't really get a chance to do any filming because shotguns were going off every 5 minutes, birds were screaming, and it's just a nightmare. As you can hear, it's very windy. Had a little bit of rain, expecting some more rain later, and there you can just make out is the pole, the track marker. As you can see, you can't really tell there's a track there until you get nearly on top of it, and you can see that there's a track that leads down the hill, up and down the hill. There it is, circular walk. Okay, now that track takes you down that way, and there's a track that goes up and round, but what we need to go is go down the hill this way. Okay, you can see I'm expecting for him to give me a shout when he comes back from the car to get some more water, because he's got a bit turned around in here. So always pick a nice point of reference that you will recognise, if it's a tree or a stump or something that you will recognise again, so that as you're walking you see that, then you know that you're on the right way, because it's so easy to get turned around especially at night. So down the track. Ooh, nearly gone over. Okay, I mean something like this. You've got two trees that are down. You've got one there, one there. That's quite easy to think, ah, okay, I know it's this way because of the two trees that are down. And this camp is so easy to spot because of the three tree down, as I call it. So that's what I'll be calling this camp that we've been using. This is the second time. Call it 3 tree down, because you've got 1, 2 and 3. This branch here, let's turn the light on, was held up just by this piece here. How rotten that was. And the whole tree goes right up. Into that tree there. So we've dropped down now into this area, and it's really shielded from the wind. As you can hear, it's gone really quiet. So it was a good choice of camp. There you go, and now we're back in camp. Right, we're all packed up, and now we're going home. I'll show you the camp all tidied up. This is where my hammock was. That's where John's tent was. There's his kit. That's the fire pit all cleaned away. All cleared away, all the rubbish has been packed up. And this is my homemade water bottle carrier. I made it so it will go up and down. Pour the water out, and this is all my kit packed up. There's my Arctic sleeping bag, hammock in this one, tarp in this one, my cook gear in that one, my mats and my work gloves. And there you go. I'll come ultra lightweight. And over that way is we camped over in the back of that wood, and it was noisy as hell. The pheasants, but this is the field. Check that out. The whole of that limb has snapped off. The whole of that. It's just snapped off. That tree right there, look at that. Crazy. Oh, this is the first field that we walked through. And right up the back there. Zoom in. That's all corn. Corn on the cob. It wasn't any good this time because it was all black. But in the summertime, It's definitely worth remembering that that's there. There's a little notice here of the countryside code. There you go. A little bit of information there. That sign up there is saying it's private property. The other one is keep your dogs on the lead. Okay, down there is a circular walk which goes down this way and goes right round in a loop. But we're going that way. There's John. There's another track that goes down this way. We're going that way. This area here is Ugly Tree. We call it Ugly Tree because of this up here. That looks like a distorted face. Let's go around the other side. And we used to camp here, just over the back here. Camp here when I used to camp in a tent, and then another little campsite is at the back, just past this little dip here. But yeah, I used to camp here, used to sit on this tree here, and there's another one at the back, a little flat area. And the only trouble here is that the track runs right along and you get loads of dog walkers and that. So you don't really get the experience that you're on your own. There's a little corrugated shack here. Try not to disturb too much. Let's try to get to it and have a look inside. It's actually a corrugated shack. Right slap bang in the woods. I don't know if it was a stable. I don't think so, the door's not big enough, but it's like a little house. Right slap bang in the middle of the woods. There's nothing else about, just this. Pretty cool. Check out the little mushroom there. These here are dried out and dead rose bay willow herb. little fluff on them there, and they're absolutely ideal for firelighting when they are dry, and edible when they're nice and green. That buzzing you can hear is overhead power lines. And you don't really want to be sleeping anywhere near these. As in the first camp there was one not too far away from us, and it gave us both a nice headache. So not the best place. But still going this way to the next bed of wood, and then I'll show you the descent down. And these are the markers that we look out for, so we know that we're going the right way. Check this out. The whole top of the tree is split in two. There's half of it there, and then on the other half, there's the other half there. I'd love to have a look what the middle looks like up close, but do a bit of taping to that where it's been burnt. Just something of interest. It's a nice little bit of scenery. And there, the field, and then the woods at the back. And we are still walking on the same track to get to the arrow tree. Another little interesting fallen down tree. There's one there, and then there's one just behind it that's fallen down on top, like domino trees. We go down, where we go down to the car, tree on the opposite side. We've just come from this way. We've got to look out for this on the tree, and on the other side there's a handy arrow to tell you to go that way down the hill, which is where we're going now. There's a little track, very faint, that worms its way round. I mean, this is a nice little area for me now with a hammock. I can pick a multitude of trees, but it's not really very flat for a tent. But I'm used to camp here, and this just here. A bit dark. Let's turn the light on. Just work your way down. Another fallen tree. Snakes round. It's all clear here. snakes down. Over there, someone's made a little rope swing. And you walk down. And then this is the camp where we first started to camp, was up here. It's lovely in the summer because the breeze comes right up the bank, keeps all the mosquitoes down. There's a nice little area. Someone's been using this quite often here because they've left the fire pit open there. That's where we used to sit there and over here. And I used to camp over in between these two with my tent or my tarp. 1, 2, 3. Right, and this is the track that leads us down to the car. What's the routes you've got to be careful of. Bit of a trippy hazard there. Yesterday when my mate went down to his car for some water, he said he found a hat that he left down the side here somewhere, so we're going to have a look for that now. A nice little cubby hole there. You could stash away in an emergency. Wouldn't have to do much work to make it watertight, so to speak. Someone's left a plastic bottle there. And the track just snakes all the way down. And around this pit. It's a good few mile walk, but it's fun. Now that I've shaved a few pound off my kit, it makes aha, here we are. I think that's what he means. And a nice little waxed hat. Marks and Spencer's, no less. I can get out the tag. Yeah, very fetching. Hello, sir. Little Benny Hill there. So I'll put that in the wash. The track leads that way as well. It leads round and down. A bit further down, but this is where we're going there, down here. Back to the car. It's the best bit about this at the end, it's all downhill. It's a bit treacherous in the wet. So you've got to take it steady. But yeah, I've got myself a new hat. Very nice. You just keep following the track and it takes us down to the Pilgrim's Way road. Ooh. just round the bend. There's a house there, and you can make out the and there's the car. There you go. For a bit of interest, there's another footpath here that goes lower down. It goes down. Okay, that's it.